So I actually went back into the footage afterward, um, about the whole, one sec. Ugh. Um, about the whole, what was it, like Bertliana thing? Because I was just confused, because obviously some group took her, did some terrible things to her, and, and then let her go or whatever. And for whatever reason, like, I thought it was like, Wilred and his crew. Yeah, I don't know. I was confused about it. Went back and it says the Corpse Brigade. I was I was like, okay, who exactly is that? Because I don't, remember all the names of the various groups. And it's what I thought it was, which was a group of like, Alamegan offshoot or whatever. Um, but at some point you're talking to somebody and they talk about both what happened to Bertliana and about lizard men. And I think that confused me. I mean, it kind of seems like what happened to Bertliana was entirely separate to what was going on with Wilfred or Wilred. And Wilred, I guess he caught word of it and got upset, was going to do something about it. And so that was another connection where I thought what Wilred was doing was associated to it. But he wasn't dealing with what happened to her just yet. He was trying to deal with the Amalja, which were two separate things. It just confused me, and I know last night I was like, I don't know what's going on here. So I wanted to go back and double check it. Because I was also saying things, well, I mean, a lot of the stuff I said was still correct about people doing crappy things. But I was also thinking for a sec that Wilred was setting up some things like what happened to Bertliana in order to gather people like to his side to do whatever it was he was doing. But it didn't seem like that was the case. It was just a lot of bad things were happening, to the people in Alamigo, and he thought that he could do whatever the robed figure was telling him to do, and that would like give him the power to stop all this bad stuff happening, which obviously he was being lied to or whatever. All right, so let's get back to this. Back to square one. Gundabald wants to wish you well on your investigation. Would that we had more information to offer, but what Wilred told you is the extent of our knowledge of the masked stranger. Left unchecked, that man will bring about great pain and suffering. I pray that you'll find and put a swift end to the creature, for the sake of the young ones who died by his poisoned words. Okay, wow, that was... I thought there was going to be more to do here. Otherwise, because this is probably go talk to Minfilia, and then that's the end of that quest. I mean, for the most part, it's been... like, that quest line was over anyway, but... yeah, still just thinking about all the stuff that happened with Wilred and everything, and trying to get myself, back into the mindset of what's going on. I mean, of course, can just be summarized with Ascians doing Ascian things. Welcome back, Lavenza. I'm reliably informed the investigation took you to Quarry Mill and Little Alamigo. So tell me, were you able to learn aught of La Habrea? Planted the knowledge of summoning in impressionable young minds, you say? Precisely the kind of deception the Asians would employ. While many of the ills that ail the land can be attributed to the calamity, some are being brought about by a malign will. We must needs delve deeper into this, while things remain quiet on the primal front. All work and no play makes Menphilia a dull scion. Hmm? Did you say something? Nothing, my lady. Mayhap we ought to rest a while before speaking further of the investigation. Yeah, it's like I thought. If I had known it was going to be this quick, I would have just done this last night. Terror at Fallgord. Minfilia has another lead for you to pursue. While you were tending to business in Thanalin, some new information arrived, courtesy of our friends the Sylphs. An individual fitting La Habrea's description has been sighted in the North Shroud. This sighting comes in the wake of a series of mysterious deaths in the selfsame area. My instincts tell me that our man is involved. I would have you continue your investigation where you left off, 12 willing. We will pick up La Habrea's trail once more. Noraxia can furnish you with the details. Pray speak with her and take it from there. As always, be careful out there, Lavenza. So something I'm getting self-conscious about while I'm speaking, because I noticed, like in my video, every once in a while there's these weird little, like, you know, clicks or taps or whatever. And I was like, oh, what is that? And then I noticed that, like last night while I was reading text, that my teeth were tapping as I was speaking, like just now. And now I'm like super what's the word I'm talking? I just said it, self-conscious or whatever. Like I'm thinking about it while I'm reading, and it's kind of affecting the way I talk as I'm trying almost not to move my mouth as much so I don't click. But if you hear that clicking and you're like, what the? It's that. And it's something I've never thought of. I don't know. Do most people click when they talk, or I don't know. Walking one, okay. Walking one is to investigate Sinister One. Then heed well this one's words. This one is friends with a walking one in the Ash Crown Consortium. According to friendly ones, a digging one named Medrod had an encounter with a scary masked one. This masked one is most certainly Sinister One. Walking one should go and speak with Digging one Medrod. Digging one is to be found at Fallgord Float in the North Shroud. I'm sure they say the same thing. Yeah. We wear masks, so that makes us best friends. All right. I'm always, every time I get to, you know, a new place, not really a new place for me, but, you know, it's not like I go into these buildings ever at all. But, you know, you see the symbol on the map and it's like, okay, is this indoor, outdoor, over, under? Please leave me be. I'm not long for this world. I look death in the face. 'Tis only a matter of time before he comes for me, just like he came for that poor woman. Medred is clearly traumatized. Perhaps if you were to soothe him, he might remain calm for long enough to hold a conversation. You're right. It's not as bad as it seems. I saw something terrible. That's true. But that hardly means I'm going to suffer the same fate. Thanks to you, I can think straight again. I believe I can even recount what I saw without losing it. It was just another ordinary day. I was headed back to the float when I noticed a suspicious character in the distance. A masked man, garbed head to toe in black. He had a hideous fiend in tow, a winged creature that was all eyeball and jagged teeth. Taken by curiosity, I crept as near as I dared. To see the corpse of a woman, one glimpse was enough to tell me that she had died a gruesome death. In that instant, I knew right away that the masked man was a minion of Thrall, come to claim her soul for his realm. It's like, no, just an Ascian. What? You're investigating the same masked man? If that's the case, we'll help you in whatever way we can. Aye, anything to ensure that we won't have to suffer Medred's hysteria ever again. All right, teamwork. That's what I wanted to... Wait. I haven't been that bad, have I? At any rate, I'm all for helping this adventurer. It's the least I can do to repay her for comforting me. I don't know, it just seems... Yeah, let's help her with her investigation. She patted me on the back. Ziz is so ridiculous. Aideen has a proposal to make... Aideen has a proposal to make concerning... Okay. Reading is hard. Aideen has a proposal to make concerning your investigation. So here's what I know about the deaths. All the victims were found with their faces torn to shreds. Among the local fauna, only the scalekin known as Ziz could inflict such wounds. That's why some folks are pointing the finger at them. I somehow doubt that the answer's that simple, but for the sake of thoroughness, we should look into it. Why don't you put down, say, 3 of the creatures, and see if you can find any proof connecting them to the deaths? Oh, they're all up above. Or at least one of them is. Yeah, to be honest, I don't... I mean, there's so much from A Realm Reborn I don't remember. And to me, like, the only time I ever really remember La Habrea was from Praetorium. Like, I didn't realize he was the one in Totorak, and now I guess he's the one involved in all this. You've already seen to the Ziz? Good work, adventurer. So, were you able to find aught to suggest the creatures are our culprits? Nothing? Truth be told, even if there were proof, I wouldn't know what it looked like. Anyway, I believe we can safely strike Ziz from our list of suspects, which leaves us with the masked man and his winged eyeball. Well, that was very likely it. Okay, so we got 2 quests now. Rock of Rancor. Aiden has further knowledge of the mysterious deaths. There's something else I heard about the deaths. It appears all the victims have been comely maidens. I'd better watch myself, huh? Unseemly japes aside, there's a rumor been going around. There's some as whisper that after each victim died, her rancor went into the great big rock southwest of here, causing it to flash and moan. This bears investigation, I reckon. I'm going to give you a fire sand stick to blow off a piece of that crag. The stick doesn't come with a fuse or anything, so you have to throw the thing. Once you've torn the rock a new one, bring back some of the fragments, and I'll give them a gander. Huh, okay. That's weird. I wonder what that's like at the time, because I assume I have to do both of them. And I don't recall ever running into like a main scenario quest where it's like, choose one of them and then come back for the other one. Oh. A hollowed out wooden tube filled with several ounces of fire sand, used in mines and tunnels to pulverize large boulders and clear away cave-ins. Humming crystal. Fun times. Action-packed adventure. Most folk are too scared to go within 100 yalms of the Rock of Rancor. Aye, it has a name. But what's a few vengeful spirits to a dauntless adventurer like you, huh? Bigger than a bigger than a shard, but not quite large enough to be a cluster. The energies emitted by this crystal lightly tingle the hands of any who touch it. Huh? Why, these are just your garden variety crystals. 'Tis a bit hard to tell beneath all the dirt and grime, but they're definitely lightning aspected. I almost hate to say it, but that explains the flashing and moaning. Nothing to do with the masked stranger. Looks like I've gone and wasted both your time and a perfectly good fire stand stick. Oh well. Okay, so you did have to do them separately. Seeing eye to winged eye. Iveralt has information to share regarding your investigation. There is something you should know. I have been keeping this to myself, lest I worsen Medrod's paranoia, but I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it was coincidence, but my sighting took place precisely the same time as Medrod's. I was heading home after a day of digging when a shadow fell over me. Looking up, I found myself locked in a gaze with a giant eyeball. I let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without once looking back. This happened at the rocky area west of here, in case you had a mind to investigate. So the question is this actually an Ahriman, which I assume is what they mean by the big eyeball monster, or is this just something else they're mistaken about? Doing quite the survey. Oh, okay. Well, that's more than one big eye. See, and that's how, like, old folk tales and stuff come to be. You know, people start describing something that, you know, it's not accurate. Make it out to be bigger than it is. I mean, a giant, like, scorpion monster thing is still terrifying, but not what we're looking for. A monstrous Banemite appeared, and you slew it? The creature had long been a scourge upon the folk of Falgord. Intentional or no, you have done us a great service. You have my gratitude. But this does make me wonder. Was it truly a winged eyeball I saw, or merely a trick of light combined with blind panic? I'm gonna go with the latter. There's a big eyeball. Power of deduction. Medrod is troubled by the dearth of new developments in the murder investigation. Sigh. There have been no promising leads in the murders. I can scarce get a wink of sleep, knowing that the killer is still at large. Judging by your furrowed brows, I take it this sorry business troubles you as much as it does me. I've been pondering my encounter. I was uncertain for a time, but there can be no doubt. It was a winged eyeball that I witnessed. It's implausible that I could have mistaken so distinct a creature for a Banemite. But you and I were mounds apart. How could we have both seen it at precisely the same time? What's more, our adventurer friend here had a run-in with the Banemite at the very spot you claim to see that fiendish eyeball. Isn't that right? There must be an explanation. I know I saw an eyeball with wings. I would wager an apple tart on it. Oh, he's serious. But listen, mayhap it's not as mysterious as we're making it out to be. There's no reason why there couldn't be... Gods, of course. There must be more than one of the buggers. It's so obvious. But then that means, since there have been repeated sightings of these fiends, then there must be even more victims as yet undiscovered. I always wonder how to do the sound effects. I do believe we're out of our depth. We ought to leave the rest to the expert. Yes, we're just civilians after all. Good luck, adventurer. It was a pleasure knowing you. While I burn to know the truth, some things are best left unknown. Lest you have forgotten, it was at the rocky area to the west that I had my encounter. Should you discover aught of naught, you will want to alert the authorities. There is a gatehouse nearby. The serpents there should be pleased for any information that pertains to the security of the region. It's like, well, too rich for our blood. But not specifically our blood, their blood. We're about to go in there and mess some Ahriman up. Yep. Mangled corpse. Lovely. Oh, and we get to pick it up. Put it in our bag. We've been doing a lot of that lately. There's another bag I'm going to have to throw out. Ooh. Did I just see a shooting star? Greetings, adventurer. Is there aught I might assist you with? The body of this poor soul has been defiled in more ways than one. Wow. Gods be good, not again. No matter how many bodies I see, I cannot seem to get used to the horrid sight. Poor woman. Identical deaths have been reported in the central shroud. While the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any, sightings of the winged eyeball are common enough. The creature appears to be moving the bodies, but to what end, none can say. The victims have all been young women. All are found with their faces mutilated beyond recognition. It's been difficult to identify them, so as to notify their next of... Huh? This button engraved with a lily motif. The very same object was found upon another victim. A family sigil, or that of an organization, perhaps? Either way, I dare to hope that this... Man, I don't know what's going on with my throat. Either way, I dare to hope that this find will prove pivotal in solving the murders. And I think it will. I'm thinking this is leading to Hawk Manor. Thank you for watching this video. I've been having a great time going back through the story again. And if you've enjoyed it as well, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to join me live, the link to my Twitch is down below. Thank you.